Hi, and welcome to Studio SN. My name is Sara Naumann, and today we're creating foiled backgrounds with WOW. Foiling gives a really pretty effect on handmade cards, and normally you'll see foiled focal pieces, for example like a stamped image, but I wanted to show you how to create an easy foiled background. And I think as I'm tilting my card here you can see that really pretty shiny metallic gold background. Well, this has been done with a really simple foiling technique, so let's take a look at how easy that is to do. First thing you're going to need, of course, is the material on which to do your foiling. So I'm using a piece of white cardstock, just a matte white cardstock. I also need to have my metallic foils, and here I'm working with the Fab foils. This is from WOW Embossing, and this is the glitter gold. Now you get quite a bit in your package. As you can see, I've really enjoyed my glitter gold, so I'm coming to an end of my package here. Now you also need to have a bonding powder. This is what will help the foil to adhere onto your surface. And also to help with that is the embossing pad. So this is the clear ultra slow drying embossing pad from WOW. So all of these supplies you're going to need to have on hand, as well as a heat gun, because unlike other types of foiling, you're not going to be using a laminator for this technique or a household iron, which you can also do. So for what I'm going to show you today, you just need your heat tool. So I'm going to set these things aside and start applying my embossing ink onto my cardstock. Now I can do this in a couple of different ways. Of course I could stamp an image with this and do my foiling, or I could simply take the embossing ink and press it right down here onto my cardstock. I really wanted this to have a sort of abstract effect, so I'm going to use my brayer. So this is a mini rubber mini brayer, and I'm just going to roll this across the ink pad, and then I'm going to roll it in a sort of abstract fashion onto my cardstock. And then what I'm going to do, set this aside, and I need to cover this with my bonding powder. Now we're going to treat the bonding powder just like an embossing powder. So the same process, I'm going to use a bit of scrap paper here that's been folded, and then I'm just going to sprinkle the the bonding powder right on here. And then what I can do is just tap off the excess, and you can see that it's stuck onto the areas where I have done my brayering. Now the same with embossing powder. I'm going to take this, use it as a funnel to get all of my bonding powder back into the jar. So I'm going to set that aside and do that a little bit later, but for now I'm going to heat set this. So I'm going to take my heat tool, and basically the same process with your embossing powders. You want to get this hot enough so that it will melt. Now I'm working onto a craft sheet, which is going to protect my work surface, so you definitely want to have a craft sheet on hand or some other heat resistant surface so that you don't damage your table or your work surface. Now this is a large area, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get all of that powder melted, but you can see it changing color and turning a bit shiny as I'm heat setting this. So I want to make sure to get it all melted. Back up here to the top, and now what I need to do is add my gold foiling. So while this is still hot, I'm going to take a piece of that beautiful glitter gold and I'm going to press it right on here. Now I do need to work pretty quickly while this is hot so that the foil is going to stick in there. Now this is warm to the touch, but it's not so hot that it's burning me. So I'm going to smooth this out. I can also take a bone folder or other scoring tool. You could even use a spoon or a palette knife just to make sure that this is all on here really nicely. Now the next trick to this is I need to let this cool before I pull off my foil. So I don't want to do it while it's hot because then I won't get the effect that I want. So while I'm letting this cool, I do just want to show you, because I worked pretty quickly, but I want to show you when you're applying your foil, you'll notice on here there's the shiny side, the colored side, and then the reverse side, which is a dull sort of silver side. So no matter what color foil you're working with, it will always have this kind of dull silvery side on the back. This is the side that you want down into your bonding powder. So you always want your colored or your shiny side facing you. So now while this is cool, I can take this and pull off the excess, and I have a really cool, very pretty, shiny effect, but it's got that really neat, distressed, sort of scuffed look. Now I'm just going to flip this over because I do want to show you, I know a lot of you crafters out there are thinking, hey, I could use the negative side of this for something else. Of course you could, because this would be a really cool element to work into a card or mixed media project. So now that I've got my foiled piece done, I'll bring back in my original card and we can show you how this has been put together. So as you can see, I've just trimmed this down, I've matted it up onto pink and then to green cardstock, wrapped this with a little bit of twine. The thanks stamp on here is one from Marion Emberson, the fabulous Marion Emberson, and this is her set called Just Saying. This is also from WOW, and I've used that thanks on there, so that worked just perfectly. Stamped that on there and then used a little bit of pattern paper that's from Fab Scraps. So I have a really bright, cheerful overall design, but I think that that gold, shiny, metallic foiling on here really does provide a nice background for my focal piece and my stamping, but it also doesn't detract from the message of my card. Now, one other thing I did want to show you as I was playing with the foils, I wanted to show you some other looks you could get. So with this one, I've done some of the really pretty pale pink foiling on white cardstock. Here I've got some purple, and this was really cool because it actually captured some of the wrinkles on the foiled sheet. Of course, this is the gold that we just did. Now I also wanted to show you, because on this one I used silver, but I put it onto a bright pink cardstock. So don't forget about your brightly colored cardstocks and black cardstock as well with that foiling on there. We give you lots of really nice options. So I'll bring back in my card and we can take one last look at this. This is all you need to do to create a foiled background for your handmade cards. I hope you enjoyed today's show. For more ideas and inspiration, please do stop by my website at saranaumann.com. If you enjoyed today's video, I invite you to subscribe to Studio SN on YouTube, and I'll keep you updated with a new video at the first of every month. Thank you for joining me on Studio SN, and I'll see you again next time.